Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz takes place this weekend in the main event of UFC 279, Chimaev versus Diaz, and I can't wait for this welterweight matchup. I know when it was first announced, I did not like this matchup whatsoever. I don't think anyone did, but now that we've got a little bit closer, and I've seen a couple of embedded episodes, and I've seen some of the countdown, and I've seen a Nate Diaz interview, and I've seen some Khamzat Chimaev run-ins with Paulo Costa even, I'm starting to find some real excitement from this matchup in the main event, because I feel as though, although I do not believe that Nate Diaz has a single chance to win, although a slight chance, I don't believe Nate Diaz has a large chance to win. I think Nate Diaz wins this fight. 1 in 20 times, maybe? 1 in 10? 1 in 15, I'll give you. But there is that chance. And that's always a very, very exciting feeling when there is that slight chance that maybe Nate Diaz could win this one. I just don't see it happening against Khamzat Chimaev. And I know a lot of people are starting to spin some narratives up fight week. After originally saying that this is going to be an absolute slaughter, the channels are doing what they do and are now saying, I don't know, guys. What about Nate Diaz? Because they hated the matchup in the first place, and now they're acting like there's like a, I don't know, 70-30 on chances, like it's a 2-1 favourite Chimaev matchup or something like that. When in reality, no, Chimaev should win this fight the vast majority of times that these guys take each other on. I want to tell you guys why, because I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like, well, Chimaev isn't going to KO Diaz. Well, Chimaev's not going to submit Diaz. I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like that. And are they trying to suggest that Chimaev's only way of winning is decision here? I truly believe Chimaev is going to beat him in the first round. And I know I said that about the Gilbert Burns matchup, but I think Gilbert Burns is on a different level than Nate Diaz at this point in both of their careers. Gilbert Burns is a top-level welterweight. Diaz is ranked nowhere. Okay? Fair play, he landed one shot on Leon Edwards. And people won't shut up about it, but he landed one good punch on Leon Edwards in a 25-minute contest. So people are now talking about that massively because Edwards was playing with his food and didn't see it coming and got clipped and rocked. So I get that. But I truly believe Chimaev's going to go out there, pick up Diaz, dunk him on the ground, smash him to bits and destroy him. I think it's going to be a really bad watch. You know? I really believe Chimaev has a power difference. Like, people are saying Diaz can't be rocked by Chimaev. He's not going to get KO'd by Chimaev. He's not going to be TKO'd. Do you know who Nate is? He's so tough. Against Anthony Pettis, Jorge Masvidal, Conor McGregor at 170. McGregor was moving up from featherweight. He then became a lightweight. He's now a bigger guy for the division, but back then he wasn't, and he was still able to drop Diaz. And I know he's got that sort of accuracy and timing, of course. But, you know, Masvidal is a big guy for the division, but he was also coming up from lightweight too. And he's not a Chimaev-sized welterweight, is all I'm going to say. And Anthony Pettis, sure, couldn't KO Nate Diaz. And Diaz showed a good chin. But, you know, Pettis wasn't really scoring too many KOs at lightweight. Even before that matchup. I know he got Wonderboy with a perfect shot, but he's not, like, sort of known for that massive one-punch KO power. So I feel as though this is going to be the first time in a long time that Diaz has actually taken on a welterweight outside of Leon Edwards, who really was just playing the game of, I'm going to school him every round, and it backfired in round 5. If Leon Edwards really wanted to try and KO Diaz, it would have been a very different looking fight than him being patient and calm on the outside, reserving his energy, and just picking at Diaz at range to the legs and to the body. I feel as though we're going to see Chimaev march across that cage, smash Diaz with a heavy leg kick, push him back, smash him with a heavy front kick to the body that he used against Burns, that he used against Gerald Meerschaert as well to set up the KO he got against him. Smash him with that. Find his way in with a big punch. Land it. Diaz looks for the clinch. Chimaev gets the clinch. Ducks under the armpit of Diaz. Gets the body lock together on the backside. drags Diaz down, maybe picks him up to disorientate him, picks him up, slams him to the ground, puts one hook over the top, starts pounding some shots, starts looking for the wrist control. Diaz might start like trying to turn into it and create an awkward position and try and punch back a little bit, but Chimaev's going to get his arm pinned down against the cage, and he's going to be too strong because he's going to have like a 50-pound of muscle weight advantage, and that's such an advantage to have over Nate Diaz. And I feel as though he's going to pin that arm and smash Diaz to bits in round 1 by TKO. And I want you guys to ask yourself something. Or I just want to tell you something, really, beyond anything else. Am I saying Nate Diaz is going to KO? Am I saying Chimaev's going to KO Nate Diaz? I'm not saying that. Am I saying he's going to submit him? No, but there's a chance if he beats him up enough to where a submission will present itself. There's this thing called intelligent defense when it comes to ground and pound in MMA. And Chimaev nearly got the fight stopped against Li Jingliang before the rear naked choke occurred, and people forget about that. He got Li Jingliang down and started punching him to the side of the ear when he had his back taken. And it could have been stopped if he landed a couple of more punches. But then he sort of opted out of it, and Jingliang scrambled out of it and stuff like that. And Jingliang is a big, strong, powerful welterweight, so he was able to scramble out of that position. I can really see Diaz being told over and over again, you've got to move, Diaz, defend yourself, improve your position, you've got to move, Diaz. And I can just see him being pinned down against a cage with that Dagestani handcuff, with Chimaev just punching him in the face over and over again. Fair enough, he's not out cold. Fair enough, he's not really rocked and concussed. But you've got to move and intelligently defend yourself. We saw this with Bobby Green and Islam Makhachev. And I actually believe this is a very similar style matchup. Bobby Green, known for decently good grappling. You know, not the best jiu-jitsu per se, like offensively, like maybe Nate Diaz has. But, you know, he's a rangy boxer on the feet. He has a similar attitude and style to Nate Diaz. And then you've got the Makhachev, who just shoots in on him and is just too big and strong for him to even just move. You know, Bobby Green doesn't get finished like that on the ground. He'll scramble. He'll work a way out of positions. But with Makhachev, he was just too big and strong. And he just got to a dominant position. And it wasn't even about if he could KO Bobby Green from there. Or if he could submit him from there. It was just about, okay, he's landed 15 strikes and the ref's got to jump in. And I think that's what Chimaev should go for. If Chimaev goes out there and tries to play the patient game, mistake. And I think his coaches know that. I think he's going to go out there and empty it early on and just have such an onslaught of damage to where Nate can't move from the position that he's in. And the referee has to jump in. And maybe there's going to be Diaz fans saying stuff like, Nate was still blinking. I saw him twitch his left eye. You know what I'm saying? Nate was still breathing. Nate wasn't out yet, though. You've got to give more time to a guy like Nate. But I can really see them just jump. They don't want Nate to win. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shady stuff we've seen with the UFC. You don't think the referee's going to be a little bit extra ready to jump in if he's not defending himself in time? I can see that reality. I really can. And I can also see that, listen, Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz, people talk about the cardio of Nate Diaz. He was gassed in round 5 as well. People talk about, he let Leon Edwards survive. I don't think that's the case. He was sloppy in round 5. You know, McGregor won round 4 against Nate Diaz. You know what I'm saying? McGregor won round 4 against Nate Diaz. Just pointing that out. And that was a McGregor who's a guy who gasses out. And Diaz didn't really have the cardio to get it done there. And then round 5 was pretty competitive between them, but Diaz won it. And he got a trip at the end of the round that won him that round as well, to make sure that he got that round. But he would have won it anyway, but that put the nail in the coffin on that round for McGregor. But still, it's not like he was destroying McGregor in round 5 in their rematch. If Conor McGregor, a guy who I don't consider to have great cardio, can go at a high pace with Nate Diaz and survive him in those later rounds and win, Chimaev is a middleweight and a big one. He's a big middleweight guy. And he's got good cardio. We saw that against Gilbert Burns. In the first 3-rounder of his entire career, he's got good cardio. And Burns doesn't have the best, but that fight pace was crazy. And it's not like he was investing on Burns. He was headhunting Gilbert Burns. No investment shots with leg kicks or body shots. He was headhunting Gilbert Burns. Strength-based takedowns as well the entire way through. No fancy little Muay Thai sweeps like Nathaniel Wood was doing to Charles Jourdain. Everything was full effort. And he went 3 rounds and he didn't slow down. He slowed down a bit, but so did Burns. And he kept the pace in that 3rd round and won the 3rd round because of it. Almost finished Burns against the cage in round 3. I feel as though Chimaev's going to really badly beat Diaz. And if he doesn't beat him in the way I think he's going to, I still think he's going to survive the rest of the fight. Massive power difference. If Burns can't finish off Chimaev with the shots he was landing, I don't see Nate Diaz doing it. And I'm just looking at Diaz in this interview on ESPN MMA. And is he not looking older, a lot older than you've remembered him looking before? I know it's Diaz, he looks the same, but I'm noticing a bit more baggage in the eye area of Nate Diaz. You know? I just feel as though this isn't the best Diaz we're going to see. He's 37. You got to look at, I think there's like a 70% ratio of fighters that win if there's like an 8-year difference in age. And Chimaev's a lot younger, nearly 10 years younger than Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz normally has a massive reach advantage over his opponents to work with on the feet. He doesn't have that against Khamzat Chimaev. He's got an inch reach advantage, and that's mainly because of just arm length. Chimaev's a little bit more broad in the shoulders and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I just don't like this for Nate Diaz. I think he's going to get finished in the 1st round by TKO, not defending himself appropriately, and the referee's going to see an opportunity to step in, Nate Diaz or not. And it will be justified. People might complain, but you have to appropriately defend yourself. And I just think Chimaev's too strong and powerful and big to allow Nate to move as much underneath him. Burns is a little like cannonball of a guy in that division. And he's really good at scrambles. But he's a little cannonball of a guy. So it's hard to get like one hook in on him and stuff like that, you know, because he's already all tucked up, short-limbed, hard to get arm bars on, short legs, they're all tucked up on the ground. He just sort of balled up against Chimaev and made sure to get full guard against him. With Diaz, he's a bit taller, easier to mount once he's down, less strong than Gilbert Burns as well. Worse jiu-jitsu than Gilbert Burns, I'll say that. I feel as though Chimaev's going to finish him. 1st round TKO. And people are going to go back to saying what a stupid matchup, including myself. But we'll see how it goes. Nate Diaz always has that chance. I just don't know how he's going to deal with the power, man. I think people really, really, really incorrectly remember that Leon Edwards fight that Diaz had. He had nothing for Edwards for 4 and 4 minutes round. You know what I mean? Like, he really didn't do anything but run away. And I hate to say that because he's a gangster, but he ran from Leon Edwards for 4 rounds and 4 minutes. With his hands on his legs, sticking his arse out at Leon Edwards, running away again as he gets kicked and punched. Like, I'm not seeing the same Nate Diaz that we saw against Michael Johnson, that we saw even against McGregor in round 1. Remember Nate Diaz against McGregor in round 1 of their rematch? People talk about the moment where McGregor cracked him and his face changed, like he was all happy and jumping around, and then McGregor cracked him and he went all serious mode. But I've never seen Nate Diaz like that since, where he's been all happy and jumping around and throwing stuff out there and actively going for exchanges. You know? I feel like we've seen a bit more of a timid version, and you can't allow yourself to be that much of a nail against the hammer that is Khamzat Chimaev. Toodle pip, I'll see you later. 1st round TKO for Chimaev about 2 minutes in. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.